Before we begin, take a moment to subscribe to Battle Mode Archive. These stories survive because people like you choose to hear them. And tell me in the comments where you're listening from, city, country, anywhere. History belongs to all of us. My name doesn't matter anymore. For more than a decade, I worked inside the US intelligence world, far from the headlines, far from the myths people imagine. No disguises, no luxury hotels, no dramatic chases, just rooms without windows, files without titles, and decisions that were never supposed to leave the building. In 1974, I became part of an operation so secret that even many inside the government were unaware it existed. An operation that cost more than most wars, hid behind the strangest cover story imaginable, and involved reaching 3 miles beneath the Pacific Ocean to recover something the world was never meant to see. This is the story of that operation, and more importantly, it's the story of what we found, where it all began. On a cold day in early March 1968, somewhere in the vast emptiness northwest of Hawaii, a Soviet missile submarine vanished. No emergency transmission, no radio call, no warning. One moment it was tracking normally. The next it was gone. 98 sailors disappeared with it, along with nuclear weapons, classified navigation systems, encrypted communications gear, and years of Soviet naval doctrine locked inside steel hulls and circuit boards. The Soviet Navy reacted instantly. Fleets were mobilized. Aircraft crisscrossed the sky. Ships searched day and night across an area of ocean larger than many countries. For weeks, they found nothing. The sea had erased the submarine completely. But the ocean has a memory, the sound no one missed. The United States Navy had spent years building a vast underwater listening network, hydrophones anchored to the seafloor, silently recording the deep ocean's constant noise. Most of what they heard was meaningless. Currents, earthquakes, whales. But on that same March day, analysts noticed something different. A single violent sound, short, final, not an explosion, but an implosion. The unmistakable signature of a large metal structure collapsing under immense pressure. By comparing data from multiple sensors, analysts narrowed the location. When that information was matched with Soviet search patterns, the conclusion became unavoidable. A Soviet nuclear submarine lay broken on the ocean floor, and Washington had a decision to make, an impossible idea. At first, the idea was dismissed as fantasy. Recover a submarine from 3 miles underwater, lift it intact, do it secretly. While the Soviet Union watches the same ocean, engineering experts said it couldn't be done. Military planners said it shouldn't be attempted. Politicians said it must never be acknowledged. That, of course, is exactly why it moved forward. By the time I joined the project in 1970, the wreck had already been located and photographed by deep-sea vehicles. The images were grainy, ghost-like, twisted steel resting in total darkness. The submarine had fractured, but large sections remained preserved by the cold. Whatever secrets it carried were still there, and someone decided we were going to take them. The cover story. To hide an operation of this scale, we needed a lie so large it would distract the world. We found it in an eccentric billionaire, an industrialist, obsessed with mining rare minerals from the ocean floor. The public narrative became a deep-sea resource recovery experiment. Newspapers laughed. Scientists debated. Governments shrugged. Meanwhile, behind sealed doors, engineers designed something never built before. A ship capable of lowering a massive mechanical claw miles into the abyss, grabbing a shattered submarine, and lifting it without snapping it apart. Every failure would be fatal. Every mistake irreversible. And once we began, we couldn't stop. The descent. In the summer of 1974, the vessel reached its target zone. Operations ran 24 hours a day. Every movement was monitored. Every sound was analyzed. Then the claw closed. For hours, tension filled the control rooms. Slowly, painfully slowly, the lift began. Halfway up, alarms triggered. Structural stress, metal fatigue. Something was failing. We watched helplessly as part of the wreck broke free and vanished back into the darkness below. But not all of it. What we recovered, what came aboard, was enough to change everything. We recovered sections of the hull, fragments of missile systems, navigation instruments, encrypted equipment, and the remains of sailors who never made it home. They were given burial at sea with full honors, quietly, respectfully, and without flags. But the technology told a different story. Some systems weren't supposed to exist. Some materials didn't match known Soviet designs, and some data suggested experiments that went far beyond defensive weapons. That information was locked away, classified beyond top secret, and buried deeper than the submarine ever was. When the operation ended, the ship sailed home under its fake mission accomplished. Officially, nothing extraordinary happened. The truth that followed. Years later, fragments of the story leaked. Governments acknowledged parts of the operation. Documents were released, carefully edited, heavily sanitized. What the public received was incomplete, comfortable, safe, but it wasn't the full truth. Some discoveries were never mentioned. Some conclusions were never shared, and some questions were never answered. I'm telling this now because time has erased the fear that once surrounded it. Most of the people involved are gone, and silence no longer serves anyone. The ocean still holds secrets, but not all of them stayed buried. And somewhere beneath the Pacific in the eternal dark, the rest of that submarine remains, waiting, unchanged, as if history itself is holding its breath. If you heard this story, remember it, because the most important truths are rarely announced. They're whispered, if they're told at all.